Hey guys, didn't die yesterday. Today I'm going to be going back and doing what I did on the channel that I did a year hiatus for this one from, and the video I'm back kind of detail it. On that channel I did a lot of book reviews, and I kind of just want to go back to that because I have been reading a lot again because I can, I guess. In fact, I have had this series since sophomore year, because I read another series by the dude freshman year, Cirque du Freak. You might know the video The Vampire's Assistant, which is a worse adaptation than Percy Jackson. It's sad. Anyway, yeah. So I had this book, and it's called Lord of Loss. And I had been meaning to read it, and I picked it up, and I read 10 pages and put it down and was just like, no. And so this summer, I finally picked it up again, and I almost put it back down and said no. Because, let's see. I'm going to read a little bit really quick. Alright, so the first part I'm going to read is what he does to get in trouble, because his parents were kind of looking for an excuse to put him in trouble at this point. His name is Grubitch. I can't pronounce it, and I'm sorry, Grady, but everybody calls him Grubs. Yeah, if you thought the names in Cirque du Freak were kind of weird, escalates to a whole new level in this series. But yeah. The thing he does is get in trouble is Gret appears before they reach. Oh, Gret is his sister, and she loves showering, loves being clean. She's kind of OCD about it, I guess. But yeah. Gret appears before they reach the stairs, crashes out of her room, screaming, slapping bloody shreds from her arms, tearing them from her hair. She's covered in red, towel clutched with one hand over her front, even terrified out of her wits. There's no way she's going to come down naked. "What's wrong?" Mom shouts. What's happening?" "Blood," Gret screams. "I'm covered in blood." I pulled the towel down. She stops. She spots me laughing. I'm doubled over. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Just kind of sets the tone for the book. He went to a junkyard, got rats, killed them, put their, bloodied remains in his sister's towel, and thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. It's just that doesn't seem normal. And then, so he gets in trouble, and his parents are going to the ballet, haha, but you're in trouble, so you can't come with us. You have to stay with your Aunt Kate. Aunt Kate's pretty normal. She's kind of I can't remember the name of the lady that Harry had to stay with when his aunt and uncle went to do something that had the 9 cats and was born without wizard powers. But she's kind of like that lady, if you know who I'm talking about. It's been forever since I read Harry Potter. But yeah. And so he hears them talking, and they're all kind of oh, poor him. And it's kind of he's gonna die, and you're all wondering why. And then you realize his parents are actually not going to the ballet, and they'll be doing something else. It doesn't get explained till much later, but anyway, he sneaks out of his Aunt Kate's and goes back home. I probably would tried to do that too. But anyway, he goes back home and into his parents' room to find blood everywhere, nightmarish splashes and gory pools, wild streaks across the floor and walls. Apparently, spoilers here, I guess, but there's demons in the room. And you get to see what happened to the parents. There was a dripping sound. The dripping sound. A body hanging upside down from the webby ceiling in the center of the room. No head. Blood drops to the floor from the gaping red O of the neck. Even without the head, I recognize him. Dad, I scream! And the cry almost rips my vocal cords apart. To my left, an obscene creature is one of the demons. Spins around and snarls. It has the body of a very large dog, the head of a crocodile. Beneath it, motionless, Mom. Or what's left of her. A dreadful howl to my right. Gret! Sitting on the floor, staring at me, weaving sideways, her face white except where it's smeared with blood. I start to call to her. She half turns. 'Cause she's still alive. Fun! And I realize that she's been split in two. Oh, wait. I guess she wasn't alive. I forgot about that part. Yeah. But something's behind her in the cavity at the back, moving her like a hand puppet. Fun. I forget the name of that creature at the moment. I feel like it's Artery. 'Cause they're named after, things like that. Anyways. Oh, wait, it was Vane. No, the dog was Vane. And I was right, it was Artery. Yes. But yeah, and then the dog with the crocodile head was Vane. So yeah, the story just kind of continues like that. And in the second book, Colonel gets in, but I called him Kern. And he is like the second protagonist of the series. And actually, I think he's in the third book. But anyway, he can see shapes of light, and when he brings them together, he can create a portal to another world. And at one point, he did that and got into the hell dimension thing, where Lord Lost, the main antagonist of this book, is, and steals Artery, but it's called Art, and he kind of takes the shape of a human. Anyway, he disappears, and then comes back, and it only took like 5 seconds. But yeah, the whole book is him like going through these adventures and using his portal to create, portal abilities to go back to that demon dimension, because he joins a band of, I don't know what to call them, but they like go into hell and try to kill demons. And at some point, I forget exactly when, they bring up the Kagash, which is like this super ultimate weapon which will destroy the universe, and this review is going to be full of spoilers at this point. But yeah, and there's 3 parts to it, and they're looking for the 3 physical parts, and then at the end of that book, they realize, holy hell, they are not actual parts, and they're in fact humans, and Colonel is one of them. So in the 4th book, Beck comes in, and she is the 3rd main character. I would show you the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th books, so you'd kind of get a feel for it, but they are at my father's at the moment, so that will not be happening. But I do have up to book 10 here, so you kind of want to see. This is the 10th book. I cannot remember the numbers right now, but yeah, here are the other 4. Yep, and then this is the final one. But yeah, Beck, she has freaking amazing memory. And she can remember the day she was born. Like, coming out of the womb. That's what I'm going to say. Yes. But anyway, what's it called? Yeah, so everybody's like, you cannot remember that, blah, blah, blah. And she kind of, and then there's like a witch, I don't remember what it's called, but like a shaman kind of lady. And Beck was raised by her because she was brought in as an orphan because her mother died in the wood, like died almost right after childbirth, but managed to bring her to this village because she had been running away as like a fugitive from her own village. But yeah, that happens. And then, Beck gets raised by her, and she is kind of being raised to take her place, but then everything goes to hell like it does in all of these books, because, you know, hell's a fun place. And it ends with her dying on a cave floor. And I'm not exactly sure which book it is, because I read them so fast, it kind of just blurred all together in one book. But I think it might have been this book, where Grubbs' can't remember if he was a cousin or a half-brother, but he was related to him in some way. Yeah, well, he dies on the cave floor. Yeah. And then, thus triggering Beck to be awakened from what was coincidentally the same place she died. But yeah, and then they kind of join up with Colonel, and they just become this team, and then they realize, oh my gosh, we're the three pieces of the Cog-Ash! Crazy, right? Yeah, so it's kind of predictable at that point, because, like, oh look, the Cog-Ash is a person, and it's got 3 parts, and we've got 3 main characters. But anyway, yeah, so in this, they reset the universe, and only they remember how it was previously. And yeah, it restarts. And that's how it ends. It's actually a really good book, and I do recommend it. So yeah, read this if you're not against too much blood and gore. Yeah, because I know some people who would never be able to read this because they can't. But yeah, if you're not against it, and you've made it this far, I would really recommend watching it. Anyway, see you next week. I might be a little bit off on the time that I release it in, as I will be in London instead of my normal, like, United States time, because I'm visiting London for a week. But yeah, so I'll see you next week. Try and read Lord of Loss by Darren Shan. I really want to talk about Cirque du Freak now, so I'll probably do that in a upcoming video. But yeah, bye!